Hey, hi there. Gonna get started just enjoying the menu music. It's real good. Alright, sounds like one full loop, at least from my perspective. Gonna keep right on with ELT 7338 Retrograde Flame. So there has been a couple of little updates since last time I played. For the most part, it just seems to kind of be towards making some of the NPC interactions a bit smoother. Stuff like they approach you instead of you having to approach every single one of them, and more dialogue options to make it clear when it's like, yeah, nah, there's nothing going forward with it. So there's a hang up button now, supposedly. A little too excited about that one, honestly. Just reminding myself of the assets I have on hand. By that I mean totally not stocks. Everything looks fixed up enough. Oh yeah, supposedly there was some weird behavior with the MPUs and stuff like that. Kinda went over my head, so I'm not sure how that's gonna affect how I've been currently playing, but I'm just gonna try to do things same as usual. Also, that's a new ad. And another thing I remember from the patch notes I read was that supposedly these things, the Model Es, since they have a very autopilot in comparison to the other autopilots, it used to be that they didn't really check all that much for where their drive plume goes, which supposedly they're more worried about now. I've run into that issue though, so I don't really have a point of reference. Probably won't affect much. Main issue were with OCP and how the MPU breaks Holoroids, which only the OCP can do. Huh. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of the patch notes make more sense because they were talking about how, like, it'll break rocks down into smaller ones and stuff like that, but that's never really been how it goes with all the smaller ship, because usually as soon as I try to get them through the hatch, they break apart. Got 9 days worth of maintenance. That's a lot of nuts to screw back on. Guess I'll have to stay at the underside. 7 days. Followed by a stay at the Sky Dome, because why not? Keep everyone happy. Where to go? Could do my usual jumping between the habitats to go see who wants what. Or I could just run right off to the uranium caves. Though if I do uranium caves, I wouldn't really be testing out well, actually no, we just went over that. Don't have to worry about the MPU changes. Only affects that one chip, I think. I'll just stick with going to the habitats, starting with 7. Still not sure if I should underclock my thrusters and stuff like that to make them last longer. Do have to replace or repair them relatively frequently, but it's not like it's that expensive. Or it might be adding up to a lot, I don't know. Alright, now to remember how to play the video game. That's the button. These ones have a little bit of misalignment. These ones have some wear. And a bit of pump failure from electromagnetic damage. Off to 7. I think it was arrow keys move this stuff around, X goes back to neutral position, scroll wheel, right click, normal click. Great. Hello 7. Process vanadium. I'll mine some out for you. Actually, let's get fancy with the maneuvers. Didn't have anything turned off, I don't think, other than iron. Platinum in those ones. That one has plenty of palladium. Really updated my journal. Yeah, I was running battery bank set up in this thing, I think, rather than power generation. I think. So I've been noticing the latency in the video game, so if you see that on the stream side of things, that might be something with my video card not working right. And if it doesn't show up on the stream side of things, then that's just OBS doing OBS things, I think. My fault for running it in admin mode, I guess. Yeah, speaking of hardware stuff, I think I mentioned the other day I had switched out some hardware shit, mostly being the video card I switched out. I also updated my power supply. Went from a Nvidia, or not Nvidia, one of those aftermarket brand ones, although Nvidia model of course, 1066 gigabyte, switched over to an RX 580 8 gigabyte. It basically runs the same. Biggest difference between them is the drivers, which I really did think I'd get more out of the extra 2 gigabytes of VRAM, but apparently not. But yeah, anyway, I was testing its performance with Stalker 2 and Helldivers 2, which, funny enough, both happen to be Unreal Engine 5 games. And I was running into crashing issues, which I have found the solution for. Solution being that, for whatever reason, it doesn't like that I had my RAM specifically overclocked with big air quotes around it, because it was in the default settings of my BIOS. For some reason, my RAM, which is DDR4, which I should probably replace, but then I also need to replace the motherboard. It is advertised for running at 3200 megahertz. I think it's megahertz. MHC, whatever that stands for. But anyway, I had it set up in the BIOS where it would run at that, because as default on the auto detect settings thing, it would instead run it at like 2300 or something like that. So anyway, I switched that setting back, and I went from crashing every like 10 to 30 minutes in every Unreal Engine game, no matter what my settings were, to hey, now it actually runs like it should. At the cost of the browser being very slightly laggier. Or maybe it was something else, I don't know. Computers are complicated, and I'm not gonna pretend like I understand them. Oh hey, spooky music started playing. Or is it more like tense music? The one on the contacts list. Really fucked that up. This rock is full of palladium, platinum, and a little bit of beryllium. full of palladium and platinum. I'll keep collecting it for now. There's a rock in front of my laser. How close am I to full on palladium? I think it says 6,400 something the cargo hold, so it's like almost like half full. No wait. It's 15,000 kilograms in the cargo container and then 14,000 in the internal storage, so I still have plenty of room. Although that number has since changed, it is now 9,475. Right now, maybe I go looking for vanadium. Hopefully it's nearby. Trace amounts of tungsten. Seeing all the colors pop up on this rock, but it's mostly platinum. Mostly platinum over here. You have to go back down. An iron. Palladium. Screw it. Let's go some more. Oh, hey, there's a guy right over there. Oh, it's an unyielding atom. Do I try it? Yeah, fuck it, we ball. Look at him go. You know what, maybe I should ask him, what kind of thrusters do you have on that thing? Custom made racing gear. Let me set you up with my friends on Enchilada. You can grab decent racing upgrades from them. Huh. So all I had to do was ask and it would unlock the stuff. You know what, I'm not really geared up for this anyway. Bye. How good that stuff is, actually. I'm assuming it's gonna be stuff that is more expensive and resource intensive to have operate, but if the performance is good enough, maybe. One thing I've been thinking of though is maybe I'm better off having like this as a general mining ship, and then instead of selling it and buying a new one, I could just have a second ship, one of those K-37 variants maybe, and equip it for either racing or exploration or something like that. Or maybe I'm just better off keeping with what I'm doing right now, just having a generalist ship that kinda does it all, but mostly mining, because I'm really into rocks. Rocks are into me, as it turns out. Any tungsten right here. Just sent a whole bunch of rocks my way. Sure didn't see any tungsten in there though. Oh wait, there it is. It's floating away though. Wrong target. Someone is approaching. UIOs. Might be time to run. Yeah, I'm just gonna run. don't seem to be shooting. But that could change very quick. Don't have any vanadium for you. I think I'm just gonna hop over to the next station. And maybe I try hailing one of them. Organics, you. Huh. How about the other one? It's just retrograde flame. The rings are dark and full of terrors. Suddenly I'm a lot more curious about these guys. Oh, if I get blasted, I get blasted. Bro, cargo containers. At least I don't have to be worried about them. Well, as long as he avoid ramming into the ship. Never even made visual contact with him, just LiDAR contact. Maybe they're just not interested in getting near the station. Eh, whatever. They're flying away now. We're floating away. Looking over at the cargo containers, I'm full on platinum and palladium. Still have internal storage space for both. Although I'm very close to full with the palladium. Where did I leave all those rocks? There they are. Oh right, it did say in the Mining Companions that the type of AI network or neural network or whatever the hell they run off of has a tendency to develop inefficiencies, such as personalities. That does track. Maybe they just scooped up some of my stuff and buzzed off. Okay. Geologist scanner should show me where stuff is. according to this thing, I am already at stuff. Actually, it's probably over here to the right, just judging off all the small radar contacts. Or it's just a regular old ringroid field. So I keep fucking up and calling the LiDAR a radar. Still have yet to actually use the radar in this game though. Wonder if it's any good. Really starting to get some wear and tear on these. I'm gonna collect these rocks and then probably jump around to some of the other stations since I haven't found any vanadium and I'm gonna be full on palladium pretty quick. Alright. Bunch of stuff over there. Huh. Very good for mining because it has very noisy data and doesn't have the blue and red shift. Not gonna lie, I don't feel like I've been making terribly much use of the blue and red thing. I know it's supposed to be like blue ones are moving towards you, red ones are moving away from you, or, you know, relative and all that. But it is good in exploration. The more I think about it, the more I want to have a little explorer ship. Actually, there's a research variant of the K-47, I forget what it's called. Might have to buy one of those if I see one again. Stick a radar on it. Radar resolution is just like the high resolution LiDAR. Well, if it lets you see more, that is pretty good. It's the KR-37, right? And then the KX-37, that one's the extendo version. That one's also a good option. Well, that'd be more like for some kind of weird tiny mining ship kind of thing, but still good. Those are mines. Get me the fuck out of here. And it's gonna crash. No crashing, just being dramatic. Alright, I think I avoided it. Ooh, shit. Other way. I think I fucked it. Well. I think it is time to go back to Party Station. Really biffed it by course correction one way, course correcting immediately back for the other way, cancelling any progress I made trying to avoid the rock, and then slamming right into it. I'm gonna need some more coffee. Estimated value of 152,000. Rounded up to 153. Stick that in the storage. How expensive is this gonna be? Two replacements. Or no, wait. Can do 4 repairs on each, but I think each repair is only gonna do like 25%-ish. It's not gonna fix all of it. So it is cheaper to outright replace, and it doesn't take as long. While spining laser is gonna suck up a lot of cash to fix. But I'm thinking I'm gonna fix rather than replace. Fix it again. There goes all my insurance. Can I buy more? Not for another 3 days. Shit. Reactor's also cheaper to fix than replace. computer. I would just replace that one outright because I want it working perfectly. It's probably cheaper in the long run to just replace these thrusters too. I do have 7 days of maintenance though, so maybe I just wait for now, buy the insurance, and then fix the rest of it. So it's 7 days, 2 hours. 3 days, 17 hours before I can buy more insurance. Yeah, just go to the underside. Buy the insurance. Good thing insurance retroactively applies, because otherwise I'd be fucked. So now another 3 days, 7 hours for maintenance. Shoot. I think I wanted to look at something in equipment. Right. So I am running battery banks. So I'm not sure if it's just me or if the game runs a lot worse in the menu now. KX47 here. Yeah, extended cargo variant. Huh. One looks a bit different. Those look just a little misaligned. Just a little bit. Just a bunch of regular K-37s and the one extendo. Not gonna buy that. Crew's doing fine. How much am I paying everyone? 4,600, 3,300, 2,100. We'll have to do. Oh, right. I almost completely forgot the new parts that should be available. Which I think should just be engines and thrusters. Aerodynamics, nuclear tactical thermal rocket is the tactical thruster of the Tsukuyomi class frigate, designed to provide high thrust for evasive maneuvers with 2 to 3 light second range Zazer engagements. With creative engineering, these can be retrofitted as a main torch in more modern thermal rocket setups. Oh, it's this one. Nuclear-assisted magno-plasma-dynamic thruster is the stock torch of the Eagle Prospector. Ah, that one was definitely available, right? I think. Oh, no, wait. Maybe this one. No reliability data exist. Actually, I should probably compare performance. These ones have 1,500 thrust, exhaust velocity of 18, propellant consumption 83.3, power consumption 100 megawatts, thermal consumption 13.5 gigawatts. Is gimbaled. This one has a thrust of 320, exhaust velocity of 115, propellant consumption of 2.8, power consumption 150, thermal consumption 18.4. Is not gimbaled. Not sure if thrust or exhaust velocity is more important. This one has a thrust of 1,100, exhaust velocity of 45, propellant consumption of 24.4, power consumption of 200, thermal consumption 24.7. RCS R69KV or something. Guessing that's the thrusters. Or sorry, reaction control system. Yeah, there it is. Vectored thrust RCS system is meant for performance at any cost. Greater usage of thrust enabled by the gimbal system means that these may require frequent maintenance, making it unsuited to most commercial use. Most autopilots unable to fully utilize their capabilities, these tend to see usage mostly in performance craft. K-69V are known for their ability to tune thrust for beyond their operational optimum, though performance will degrade quickly under such strain. So kinda like I assumed, very good, very maintenance. So in comparison to what I have right now, these ones have 350 thrust, 25 exhaust velocity, propellant consumption of 14, power consumption of 60, thermal consumption of 4.4. Is not gimbaled. Thrust of 400, exhaust velocity of 12, propellant consumption 33.3, power consumption 25, thermal consumption 3.6, is gimbaled. Less exhaust velocity, more thrust. A lot more propellant consumption. Well, it's more like a bit more than double, but not a crazy amount. Less power consumption, less thermal consumption. I guess the big important part would be the gimbaled portion. Into the simulation thingy, it works roughly the same, a bit snappier. The ones I currently have a lot more wobble to it. I'm guessing no other new parts. Still feel like everything here in the main propulsion section was already here. Could absolutely be wrong though, it's not like I checked. Would be pretty expensive to check it out though. I will try out the new thrusters just because. Damn, you can crank these way up. And maybe it's a bad idea to crank it up. Alright. Yeah, that seems like a problem. Maybe I just crank it all the way down. It's still kind of doing it. Must be an autopilot setting. if I switched autopilot rotation priority down to 50%, does it fix it? Yeah, sort of. Sensor confidence and angular velocity limit usually does things. Hmm. Pilot relies on a variety of sensors to orient the ship in a way you require. Under some circumstances, these readings can be inaccurate, causing maneuvers to overshoot. Decreasing sensor confidence will make your maneuver slower but more precise. Increasing it will improve speed at risk of overshooting. I turn that down to 50%. How does that look? Yeah, it doesn't really wobble anymore. A little bit, but totally manageable. Just for comparison, set it back to 100. Better thing is, it can put this back to default. Yeah, it seems to be working better. Screw around with the angular velocity limit a little bit. Limits the angular velocity autopilot will use when setting heading. Higher values allow swift maneuvers, while lowering the limit will conserve reaction mass and prevent accidental ore loss. I think that's just how quickly it's willing to spin around, right? What happens if I turn it all the way up? It's been pretty fast. If I reset that, doesn't seem to be spinning all that much slower. Maybe it's just because I don't have that much weight in the ship right now. I'll leave it as is for right now. Still have 3 hours and 51 minutes of maintenance. Oh, time to go to the strip club. I think actually they do a lot more than just stripping there. I don't mean paint. Wonder how expensive it's going to be to repair the thrusters after. Hopefully it's not that much more. Right. So I forget if 6 is an actual place or if it's the ruin station. Actually, I think it was 1 that was the ruin station, which I don't see on the list. They want palladium. We'll go find some. Platinum, tungsten, iron. Same deal over there. New thrusters seem to be working more or less as good as the last ones. Guess the real test will be once I finally have this thing loaded the whole way up and try running away from mines again. Although, that one wasn't the fault of the thrusters so much as it was the fault of user error. Did want palladium, yes. Oh hey, my geologist is now an expert. Maybe I should tune it to be a little bit more confident with the sensors. You know, like 70% instead of 50. Despite everything, I still suck at aiming the laser. Bunny's flying away. That is one particularly shiny rock right there. 27k. I think I left the bunch floating just right up here somewhere. What does the geologist say? Says the palladium I'm looking for is all right there. I need to stop leaving all my rocks unattended. little too aggressive with mining. See an arrow pointing off to the left on the LiDAR. Wonder what's over there. MRS 6419 Ancient Turtle. Hail error. Might be worth checking out. Oh, it's Scarletly Frog. How you doing, guy? I think I remember you were playing some Caves of Cud, right? At least that's what you were playing earlier before I started my stream. How's that going? Saw that they posted a couple of things that they're going to be doing with the 1.0 release, like they have a bunch of really neat merch and stuff like that, which I wish I could afford. But that they're also going to be doing like a streaming contest for who can beat the game the fastest. Don't think I'm going to win that one. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention, I am just kind of floating around in space right now, collecting rocks. That is all the explanation required. Gotta run for some Turkey Day. Walking Man's journey is shaping up to be a strong build. Ooh. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch your VODs on that because that always seemed like a really neat idea. You know, one of those neat ideas that I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have the patience to pull off, but hey, if someone else is willing to do it, I'm willing to watch it. But I guess I should ask, what kind of build were you doing with the Walking Man? I forget if it was a mutant or a true kin you were doing for that one. I think I remember talking about it like weeks ago or something. Right, we are approaching MRS 6419. Ancient Turtle. Chimera and it was random AF, but finally coming together. He was so dumb as int was his dump stat. Well, don't really need a big brain when you've got like 7 arms. Although it does help. I think that is a KX-37, which is basically the starter ship except it's extendo. Too bad I don't have a recovery arm. Let's get a bit closer. A lot of spaceship to leave drifting in the rings. Wonder what happened to her crew. Volunteering? Take some remass and see if you can boot it up. I guess I am now. Alright. Go fix it, spacemans. Oh yeah, I guess I should also ask, what mutations did you end up with? Ship's falling apart, and you broke your arm. Well, I'm sure I'll manage just fine without a pirate, or pilot, not pirate. What direction is SRA-06? It's up and to the right. Going back to the Chimera thing. Did you end up going with lots of abilities and lots of new parts, or did you end up more like, a few of them that you pumped a whole lot of points into? Because I always have a hard time deciding which strategy works best. Carapace and Regen are the carries, but multi-legs and wings helping with movement. If you got all 4 of those, it sounds like you have a lot of survivability. Just have to make sure you don't paint yourself into a corner. Oh, I can have a pirate in the crew. That could be interesting. Like, interesting in the, hey, we're gonna board your ship, look for contraband, and break some stuff while we're looking kind of way. Flash on the Viz feed. Why is MRS 649 there twice now? Huh. Anyway, radar anomaly. Right over next to 3. Might have to go check that out. So where the heck is 6? Still over that way. Oh, so it's more like a financial pirate kind of thing. Organized crime rather than just crime. So finally found freezing rifles, so locking things down and multi-attacking them into oblivion. One thing that I actually found works pretty good for locking people down is if you have Flaming Ray and you have it leveled up really high, you also do, like you heat dudes up whenever you hit them, so if you have a lot of arms and you have the multi-weapon fighting maxed out, you can basically set stuff on fire in like a single attack. And a lot of, at least organic enemies, will try to put themselves out rather than try to fight back, so you just keep swinging. Again, results may vary. I'm imagining you could get the same thing out of Freezing Ray, except, you know, instead of panicking that they're on fire, it's more just they're too frozen to do anything about it. And it's going to be really hard to come up with what build I want to play most for 1.0. One thing I do want to try is the digging claws, since I know that they're going to be changing how that works and I want to see exactly how busted it is. Because if it basically just lets you have a built-in version of a spiral borer, that's pretty great. And it sounds like it's essentially what you're going to have access to. Although, as a weapon itself, I'm sure, you know, they're not very optimal. But when are my builds ever optimal? Just missed the docking arm. Hook me up into the spin cycle. Yep, thanks for dropping by. Always appreciated. Alright, so all that palladium paid off, I think, about half of how much I lost from ramming into that meteor last time. But we still have more cargo. Let's go try to find more people to hawk it to. Right, so we're at 6. Radar anomalies over right next to 3, so might as well just go to 3. I swear if they ask for palladium, I'm gonna be slightly upset. Alright. You have process iron. Nope, sorry, no mineral processor on this ship. But there's no option to laugh and then hang up. Well, maybe that's a bad idea. No reason to burn a perfectly good bridge. Somewhere north of here. Just realized I said north in a space asteroid belt. A much more appropriate direction is up. Don't ask which up. I have to look at the map a lot for this one. Hopefully I don't crash this time. Hey, I think that's the thing. BLT 6850. Sturdy Mercy. Hello there. Are you Wyatt? And you're flying retrograde flame now. Sturdy Mercy misses you. Contact with Gavin. Gavin. Ooh, it's got an expensive ship. Gavin Mori? Yeah, still works for me. Let him know you wanted to see him. Know any trade opportunities? Find one of the Bonto habitats out there, talk to them about their point defense licensing. I hear they have some impressive hardware that didn't work out for them that well. They sometimes license it to established contractors. I just have to go do that. I think I'm gonna go to 5 next. A lot of cores. Damn. I think that's a Zap engine. Nice and bright. And here we are at Wonderful 5. Please tell me you don't want iron or palladium. Iron. Damn it. Anyway, how about that point defense system license? You have an exclusive transferable license for point defense turrets we are not using. Sub-licensing fees for independence starts at 800,000 one-time fee. Better deals available for our established contractors and affiliates, but we don't know you that well. That is very expensive. Like, very, very expensive. I can afford it, though. Yeah, fuck it. We'll put the plans to buy an explorer ship on the back burner for now. I want to see about this. You saying it's not worth it for that much? You know what, I'll take your word for it. I was about to go and commit to it, but now it's making me think, if I can get a better deal on it, I'll buy it. But how do I get a better deal? If any work comes up with Ubuntu, maybe that'll give me status as an independent contractor, rather than just an independent. We just fly a bit closer so I can update the coordinates. Wait, all I have to do is sell a bit of ore? I'm gonna have to find a bit of iron. I'm sure I'm good at overthinking things. And underthinking things. And rocks. Bit of iron over there. Wonder, is it like every station has its own reputation, or do they share reputation? I feel like if they shared, I'd already be in their good graces, but... I'm pretty sure I did tell at least one of them that Ubuntu 1 was destroyed. Don't have coordinates for it anymore, though. Right. Collect a little bit of iron, go sell it. See if it changes the price. It's not too big of a deal. Mostly just a curiosity on exactly how it works. Because I've definitely sold a lot of ores to these stations. But if it's like each station independently does it, then it would explain things. But it also means that all I have to do to go and get a good price would be flying back over to 6 or 7. Or if it's on like individual encounters kind of thing, like the rep resets after going back or leaving for long enough or something like that. Actually, I realize I just told you not to look it up, and then now I'm just wondering about it even more. Torching stations while undocking decreases reputation. Well. I'd have to be a little bit more careful with the undocking from now on. Gonna collect these few things and go dock. See if they'll give me the good deal. have to maneuver a bit. Alright. It just mirrors the station itself moving. Like, not just in a circle, I mean. Not gonna ask just yet. Actually, I might have to call him again to ask. Alright, let's try undocking. Calling again. Stand by for docking. And now we dock again. Right, so we sold a little bit of iron. Gonna give me a massive discount on that laser weapon. No. Damn it. To stock up the propellant a little bit more. Don't want to have to rely on buying it from one of those phage stations. Right, not a laser, it's mass driver turret like PD microwave. It's kind of like those things they have there, except it actually uses ammo. Ah. Yeah, that could be pretty good. So remember, my main complaint with the microwaves is they're just kind of weak, especially against really big rocks. Point defense laser would be really good, but also really good at accidentally shooting at stuff you really don't want to shoot at. But that's the fun part. Consequences. So someone is approaching. SE-18736, damned delirium. Autonomous Edge Runner, damned delirium. You have been selected for a routine AT audit. Please open a port and authorize my access to your internal sensors. This is Skylar Faint Core Fortant. Your assistance is not required. Still flying with him, Skylar. You are a persistent one. I'd say the same thing of you. I'm really not sure if I want to go check out the other stations or if I want to run off to the uranium caves. So I could just come back later and ask the stations I've already been to next time around. Or I could just go now. So I've been to 3 and 6. I haven't been to 7 this flight, or this time around, I should say. Actually, maybe I didn't go to 3, or I just forgot to update the coordinates. Yeah, I'll go to 3, maybe go to one of the phage stations, and then go to the uranium caves. Maybe just skip the phage station. Or phage. Yumi, BBW, and Ubuntu 2 uses standard lasers on a part of ARM. We will be smaller. One on PD mount, crashing into rocks. One on PD mount, just like other PD weapons. Okay, so there is a planned laser point defense system. Very cool. Think about it, I don't think I've found Ubuntu 2. Sounds like they're kinda doing something different than the other ones though, if they're running non-standard hardware. Process platinum. I think I have some. I don't have a terribly huge amount of it, but I do have some. But wait for a second to hook up to it, so I don't accidentally get microwaved. Alright, should be safe now. Let's say as it shoots another one. We're heavily armed than the average space station. Right. How are you willing to give me the employee discount? That's still expensive. Just have to keep asking around. For all of this, I should be pretty close to full on vanadium. I think I've already checked all the stations so far and no one wants any vanadium. Now I think I'm gonna do like I said, skip the phage class station and just run over to uranium mines or caves. Same difference. Guess the next question would be, do I try to fill up my propellant first or do I just go for the crystals? See anyone around? Yet combat music is playing. At least it sounds like combat music. I'm not seeing anything on the contact screen. Oh hey, there is someone. Insurance payment. Are you sure about that? Anarchy, he says. Anarchy he gets. Oh shit, the game seems to be falling apart. My ship seems to be falling apart too. Things are not going very well. Disable autopilot. Taking manual control. Still seems to be running really bad. As soon as I open this, it kind of goes back to normal. Didn't take too much damage from him. Maybe let me try, seeing if there's any settings I could change. Music isn't on, bloom is on. All these other things are cranked the way up. Post-processing, hardware mouse. Dynamic temporal simulation simplification. I don't know what any of these things do, so maybe I shouldn't touch them. Maybe I just try to get the heck out of here. Autopilot's doing that thing again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the autopilot. Alright, so I just have to manually get the ship to stop moving. Oop, there we go. Suddenly my frames are back. If I go back closer to the moonlet, because that's what's causing it. Yep. At least it seems to be. Now it's running fine. Maybe it was the pirate ship, actually. Yeah, it's not the moonlet. Kind of funny though, I shot him like maybe once or twice with the laser and he instantly decided like, okay, time to fuck off. Anyways. Now for the fun parts. Finding where the little crystals are. I see one right there. I have to be very slow. Don't want to do like last time where I just instantly exploded all the crystals because I wasn't really paying attention. I think I'm lined up. See a second crystal. There's two right there. Another one up over there. Just lost one of them. Oh no, wait. It's because that other one's right there. So 1 and 2. That's those two. I think I see, yeah, one very small one there, slightly bigger one there. I think they're all worth the same price though, right? 50k a pop. Right. Don't see any other ones around me. I think it's all of them. I know I said I didn't want to bother paying the H-class stations for more propellant, but between having to purchase a bit of propellant and taking 60 hours to get back to the station, I think it's cheaper if I just go buy the propellant. Let's go over to Gamma. Wait, who's that? We'll never know. I'm still thinking there was something wrong with that one individual pirate, though. Haven't had any other NPC ship do that, and I've had multiple show up at the same time and it didn't do anything like that. Just kind of wonder what exactly went wrong. $1 per kilogram. Activate discount code JTYO TGOT JIPA EFVJ. Discount code accepted. Price adjusted to 0.1 per kilogram. Nice. I've been noticing sparks occasionally flying out of the cargo container. Wonder if that's just something to do with the thruster. It is from the cargo container. Why is it doing it now when it wasn't doing it earlier? Right. That would have cost me like 20k if I didn't get the discount. Back up a little bit more. Alright. Didn't smack right into that rock. So bug reported on K225 that cargo containers could damage it while docked. That part was fixed already. Maybe it's not entirely reflective of what's actually going on, it's just once I switched to those new thrusters is when I started noticing it happening. But it could have already been doing that before. I just didn't notice it. But these were 50k, turns out they're only 40k. Still pretty good. Made nearly as much money off the anomalies as I did all the mining, and it certainly took a lot less time to get the Torbernite crystals. Sell that iron. Keep the water, keep the beryllium. Sell the palladium. Keep the platinum. Keep the vanadium. Tungsten prices are kinda crap right about now, but they're not looking like they're gonna get any better. So if I'm holding on to them, I'm gonna have to hold on for a while. So another thing with the cargo container is, does damage to the cargo container itself actually do anything, or is it only like if you do a lot of damage? So it doesn't show up in the repair menu, but that doesn't mean it's not going to break if I do enough damage, right? I think. I've never seen a cargo container explode yet, but it would make sense that they do. I think I'm gonna hold on to the tungsten unless if I just really need the money. Well, they're docked, they can't explode because reactor is offline. Right, they do have an internal reactor and an engine and all that because they're designed that you can detach them and then they just fly back to the station on their own. Which I have not been taking advantage of that feature like at all. Maybe I should. Except the reactor. Thrusters are actually surprisingly fine. From the look of things, I can only fix each one once, and then I have to replace them. But that's an issue for future me. Everything else is looking fine enough. Kinda want to fix the pulse mining laser, but I know it's probably better off that I just leave it for a while. I have one more fix on it and then it becomes easier to replace it, but at the same time it costs a lot of money to replace it if it's bagged up. Well, either way, I need to go take a bathroom break. Be right back. I have returned. Warm beverage. Seem to think that I've undertuned my thrusters. Well, normally you'd be right, but this actually is the normal tune for these thrusters. 400. But maybe I should increase that. Let's try out 600. Alright, enough of that. And yeah, I did forget that it actually just does say outright what the relative wear is. That would be 100. If I cranked it down as low as it goes, it would be 56. But even at default, it didn't wear out too quick, so I'm probably just gonna leave it there. Let me read the rotation priority again. Setting governs how much thrust is diverted to the rotation before translation if both are requested. Slower and balanced craft may be able to leverage their main drives better, but more nimble craft may find to reducing their thrust output more often than they like. Right now it's at 100, and that is the default for this type of ship. If I lower it down to 0, that just means it doesn't use the main drive at all until it's done turning. As opposed to the current one where it'll do both. Which it's fine that it does both because thrusters are well positioned on this ship. I think. Also, I'm starting to suspect that the reason I'm having weird performance issues is, well, 1, because I changed my hardware. 2 is probably because of the changes to the RAM I did. So I'm just going to try turning off the 4K texture pack, because I'm pretty sure that uses more either RAM or video RAM or something. Just gonna have to wait a bit to restart. Starts a lot faster than Stalker 2 does, I can tell you that much. It absolutely does seem to be running better. Yeah, there we go. Not gonna frig around with the autopilot too much, because it's doing a fine enough job. Do have plenty of money. KTA 24. Dedicated tug / recovery variant. Actually, that could be good. I'll just hold out for an Explorer module or a scientific version, whichever one it was again. I forgot. So Talia is injured and on leave until the 26th. It is currently like basically a whole month away. Should be fine without her. Don't want to hire a replacement just to then fire the replacement as soon as the pilot's back. It's just kind of a dick move to the replacement. Or maybe they'd be fine with just having the employment. I don't know. I am not equipped to deal with these moral quandaries or ethical concerns. Or the bookkeeping in general. Just about 2 days worth of maintenance. Everything's fine enough. Now let's go to the Sky Dome. I'm gonna try going to 6 again. Turn iron right back off. A lot of cores. Alright. Hello there, 6. What do you need today? Vanadium. don't have any right now, but how about that license? Still expensive. The scanner, all kinds of stuff in this rock. Wrong button. Turns out that's what happens when you press shift. But that is useful to know. I feel like I probably should have already known that. that one spin. I'm not finding any vanadium. Not that I've been looking as hard as I could be. Palladium or palladium. Actually, more like beryllium and platinum. Thinking about it some more, and I realized that last run, instead of fueling up at the phage station, I could have just disconnected the cargo container and then flown back, probably. So right now my transit reserve well, needed amount of transit reserve to get the lowest amount of transit time is higher than my maximum capacity. If that doesn't change, it's what I should do once I decide to go back. And assuming that I don't manage to sell all my stuff to some of the stations, which would be ideal. I noticed one of the thrusters just turned orange over there. Misalignment. Must have been from that bump just earlier. Seeing that there's a radar contact past the station. ETH 3969. Celis Bird. Hail error. Gonna go check that out right after eating this tasty rock. Trying to, anyway. Yeah. Approaching target. There it is. Well, I don't lose another crew member to an injury, or worse. Also MRS 9796 over there. Weird. Usually every time you get close to one of these derelicts, one of the crew pipes up about it. Not this time. The reactor is definitely off. Yeah, whatever. Gonna go check out MRS. Sounds like a distress signal. Wait for it to spin a bit more. Alright, recovery time. Better target. Or no wait, go signal. Think I'm gonna go check out the other habitats. See if they want to buy anything I already have. Then go back to the uranium caves. Now that I've collected the life pod, it'd be kinda hard to process anything else. They also want vanadium. Do you have discount? No. So 6 and 3 want the same thing. How about 7? Processed iron. Actually, I think I do have a little bit of that. Discounts. a little bit faster. So far, the only problem I have with the new thrusters is, boy, they sure do use a lot more propellant. Which, to be fair, on the previous ones I was always at excess, now I actually have to worry about it. It's not that bad, but I do have to worry about it. Still no discount. And now off to 5. They want platinum. I think I have some of that. Stay away from there for a minute. So just remember the whole, there's a cargo or a life pod in the cargo bay. It's gonna make processing difficult. I can just jangle my ship around on the arm. That should fix it. It did not in fact fix it. And I think other than ejecting it temporarily, recollecting the ore, and then going back in, it's not gonna work. Whatever, I tried. Oh yeah, about that discount. No longer want to pick up the phone. Alright, fine enough. I'm at 5. To the caves. Nothing on the LiDAR. No visual confirmation of a pirate hiding behind the rock. So I think I'm gonna do that thing. Worry, not ditching ya. Just trying to multitask. Internal's cargo scanner says that's all of it. See the rock glowing from the outside. Must have a potent harvest this time. Keepers peeled for glowing crystal. See 2 down there. I think that's another one there. Hard to say. I see 4 at least. I think that one I was looking at was just part of the cave. Or I hope those dudes in the life pods brought some potassium iodide with them. You might need a lot of it. See, one more right there. That's all of it. Alright. Now, you head back. As soon as I'm clear of the asteroid. Damn it, I completely forgot to detach the cargo container first. $250K worth of anomalies. Still really not sure if I should be holding on to the tungsten or just selling it. I'll hold on to it. This one frustrator is banged up pretty good. The rest of them, though, are doing better than I expected. It's still got a bunch of misalignment on it, though. Fix it. We'll have 22 days until my pilot's back. As I think I'm just gonna go back to the thrusters I was using, which was MA350, I think. Keep the rest as is. crank it up to 400 to match the thrust of the other one. The relative wear would be 132%. I think I'll just leave it as is. K-47. Bunch of them. This one's different. We're gonna see me KR-37. I think that's the one I'm looking for. Dedicated modification for research of and sample collection in the charged ring storms of the A-ring. KR-37 sacrifices most of the internal cargo bay and process cargo storage to fit electromagnetic shielding, an expanded habitat, and research stations. Sentence and stairs, sorry. The research package includes higher resolution LiDAR and a hardened Ubuntu 600 series onboard computer. What does it mean by charged ring storms? Pretty sure I haven't run into one of those yet. But that's specifically the A ring. Sounds like I'm gonna have to go deeper. Careful Trader. What a name. Actually, can I rename it? Oh. Not that I would, because I know it's bad luck to rename a ship. Check out that promotional footage. Very nice. So, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna have enough money to retrofit this with the stuff I want. And then I'll also have to fix up a couple of things. Let's see. Pulse mining laser and a microwave emitter. Don't think I'm gonna need the microwave emitter. I'm thinking if I want to set this one up for exploration, I'll probably want maintenance drones on it. A mining laser, which I already have. Then to top it off, probably want the Voyager so I can make my own ammunition and my own drones. Since I'd be able to make my own ammunition, I'd probably also want a kinetic weapon instead of the mining laser, which I haven't really screwed around too much with those. Also, Lamau at the cargo hold. Stuff is definitely gonna get clogged in that. Or maybe not. I don't know. Right then. Don't think I'm gonna bother with retrofitting this thing just yet, both because one, I can't really afford to get everything I want on it, so I'm just gonna keep driving the other ship anyways. And two, I have to go make some food, so the stream's gonna have to end there for now. That being said, since I have the new schedule, which I keep forgetting to mention at the start of the stream rather than here at the end of the stream, I'm gonna go make food, eat food, and then I'll be back and I'm gonna stream some more. And originally I thought I was gonna switch game, but things are getting exciting. So I will be back playing some more Delta V, Rings of Saturn, in a couple of hours-ish. Which means that's gonna be it for the stream right now. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.